demonstration how to get it going and how to raise as well. First of all, talk about your bottles and your regulators. Your bigger bottles are going to be your oxygen. Your smaller one's going to be your acetylene. If you have to change them out for new bottles, I want you to inspect your regulator here. You have a regulator with a gauge that will have the pressure at the torch. You have a gauge for the pressure for the contents inside the bottle. It's made out of brass. It'll strip out fairly easy. So I want you to finger tighten the threads. Watch out for the threads. Finger tighten it. Once you get it pretty snug, take an adjustable wrench. Of course, always go towards the jaw. Open the jaw. And get it snug. About a quarter of a turn or so. And then you need to check it. Now, because of the diaphragm, pressure on the diaphragm, this can have a lot of pressure inside the content of the bottle. So back out your needle to make sure that you won't damage the diaphragm inside the regulator. Screw it in clockwise to increase the pressure, decrease by counterclockwise. You want to set your oxygen at 20 psi. Look at your gauge to see which is your psi, which is your SI increments, and what is your US pressure increments. Check your threads. Be sure there's no leakage with your soap bubbles. On your fuel, on your assembly bar, crack it open a quarter of a turn. That's to ensure if there is an accident or something happens, you can turn your assembly bar off real quick lock. All it will take a quarter of a turn to close it. Inspect your bottle, your gauges. Inspect all leaks. Now on your settling bottle, we want to set our pressure at 3 psi here in the shot glass to conserve the contents. We're going to set it at 3 psi. Once you have everything set, double check all your fittings. Make sure there's no leaks. Inspect your hose. Ensure there's no kinks, no wear and tear. Speaking of hoses, really good. When you strike your flame, ensure that you don't strike on your hose to create a burn through the hose. Don't be stepping on your hoses. You may be working in a situation where people are traveling using carts or something. Make sure that nobody's going to be walking or stepping or pushing anything on the hoses. If there is a hole in the fuel side of it, it could cause an explosion if it ignites. Now as we come here closer, we have our copper tubing. We have a male and we have a female. The male slips inside the female, so it will take more heat to get inside the male, inside the copper, inside the female. So start with the male, go all the way around, then go to the female and go around and travel back and forth to the male. That way that it will be a nice even flow of heat on your copper tubing. Your filler material, go in as a 45 degree and push into the joint. Whether you're going, this is downhill when you're pushing down. If it's uphill, what we call uphill, you're pushing it up. And then it can be horizontal. But let's apply a little heat to it and see how we do. As we strike the flame, or strike the fuel to create the flame, I want you to be aware of when it's just fuel, there is a lot of soot that is created. I want you to think about all that soot in somebody's house. If you're working inside the house, that could get all over the walls, it could get all over the carpet and the ceiling. So crack open, just rarely crack open your oxygen as well. That will complete a flame. The chapter talks about the different types of flames. You want a good inner cone on your flame. And as I said, start out with your male. That way the heat can conduct down to the bottom inside the female. Rotate your heat, your torch all around. Make sure you've got a good even amount of heat all over. Once it starts to get pretty warm, you can start work your way down to the female. That's going to be on the outside, so it won't take quite as much heat down here. One thing about this solder is that it will travel to heat. Let me demonstrate that. If I just put a little blob there, I can heat it over here and maybe drag it over, but that solder will eventually come over to the side, and it's already traveling. So take it and go all the way around, push down in there, and then you can just run your heat back around, and it's already sealed. Now, a good way to inspect it is to ensure that that there's a good ramp, let's say, that there's not a lip in there. It's a good, even flow. We have got enough solder on the top, we capped it over, and it's running on over to the bottom end. So there's one way to do it. If you happen to have what we call a dirt daubers, or just a big lump there, doesn't look very attractive, so a good way to do it is to add heat, and then start feathering it out, start moving it out. It will travel to the heat, and that's the way you do that.